Do you know what the scariest thing about ghost stories are? It's not the ghosts. Well, for me, it's the lack of proper research. I mean, come on guys, if your friend has a ghost story to tell, don't you think the least you can do is ask where the nearest power bank is? Common sense, please. And our next story is a perfect example of this very problem. Our story is from India. A young man named Arun lived in a village at the edge of a forest. Every year during the harvest, the elders would warn the youngsters about going into the forest at night. They told them about a woman who roamed the forest paths. They called her the Churel, and she lured young men in and never let them return. Of course, Arun didn't believe any of this. In fact, he thought these stories were ridiculous. So one day he decided to prove that ghosts didn't exist. That same evening, Arun went to the forest. For some reason, he was carrying a stick with him. Maybe he was planning to beat the ghost. Maybe he thought it would stop the ghost from haunting him. Whatever his reasoning, he stepped into the forest with a stick and without a power bank. He also forgot to bring his phone. Apparently, ghosts also have a 3G network. You can't get signal in their presence. This should have scared him. But instead, Arun was feeling rather brave. After all, he was armed with a stick. Plus, he was drunk. Ghosts aren't fond of alcohol, not even fond of garlic. Apparently, as Arun was staggering through the forest, he heard soft music. There was a woman singing. Arun felt a sudden urge to find the source of the song. As he moved forward, the music became louder. And then he saw her. She was sitting on a rock, and the moonlight was making her sorry shimmer. She looked up and smiled at him. Her smile was enchanting, her eyes were mesmerizing. And if Arun wasn't drunk, he might have been able to stop himself from following her. But he was drunk, and she was beautiful. So he kept walking towards her. The path beneath him disappeared, but he didn't notice. The branches scratched at his skin, but he didn't flinch. The forest itself was trying to warn him, but the woman kept smiling. And that was enough for Arun finally. When the woman stopped, Arun realized how deep inside the forest he had gone. The trees around him seemed to be watching him. They had twisted branches and pale leaves, but he paid them no mind because the woman was looking at him. And to him, she was the only thing that mattered. She started walking again, and this time Arun noticed something strange. Her feet were facing backwards. He couldn't understand it, but before he could react, she turned around, and that's when Arun saw that the smiling woman was gone. In her place stood something grotesque, something that looked like a monster from hell. Its skin was the color of ash. Its eyes glowed red, and its mouth was a gaping hole filled with sharp teeth. The Churel screamed and pounced on Arun. The forest came alive, and the trees reached out as if to grab him. Arun screamed and ran, but the forest was no longer helping him. It was conspiring with the ghoul to kill him. Roots held his legs. Vines pulled at his clothes. But he kept running. He stumbled and fell, and as he did, he dropped his stick. It hit the ground with a thud, and in that moment Arun knew the Churel had won. He tried to get up, but the roots wouldn't let him. He tried to scream, but the forest had muffled his sound. The last thing he remembered was the smell of damp earth and the taste of fear. Next morning, the villagers found Arun's sandals near the forest, but they never found his body. Some say the Churel took it, while others say the hungry trees devoured it. All they found was the stick, and that too, in 2 pieces. That's when they knew the forest's wrath was real. You see, the forest itself protects the Churel. To enter it is to accept the risk. So next time someone tells you a ghost story, please make sure to ask them where the nearest power bank is. Common sense, guys. It's not gonna bite. Now, before we leave, here's an interesting fact about tonight. Do you know why the full moon tonight will appear bigger than usual? Because the moon is at its closest point to Earth on its orbit. It's called perigee, and it happens twice a year. So tonight's supermoon might look a little larger than usual. Perfect for a scary story, don't you think?